They say curiosity killed the cat. But in Black Hollow, it's curiosity that gets you taken. If you ever hear the whistle at night, lock your doors, stay inside, and whatever you do, don't look. Let me tell you why. Black Hollow was a quiet, little town, surrounded by thick woods, peaceful by day. But at night, it was a different story. The town had one rule. Everyone knew it. When you hear the whistle, you stay inside. Lock your doors, shut your windows, and whatever you do, don't look outside. The story behind the rule was as old as the town itself. They said years ago, a man named Silas Kane lived out in the woods. He was strange, always whistling this haunting little tune. People whispered he wasn't right in the head, but nobody bothered him. Until one night, Silas disappeared. No one knows what happened to him, but soon after, the whistling began. It echoed through the streets at night, soft and eerie. Folks started seeing something. A tall man in a tattered coat and hat, standing at the edge of the woods or just outside their windows. The ones brave or foolish enough to peek never lived to tell the tale. The warning became clear. Don't look when the whistling starts. Most folks follow the rule. Most. Then came Evelyn. Her family had just moved to town, the kind of outsiders who didn't believe in silly old legends. Evelyn was 17, stubborn and bored of Black Hollow's sleepy charm. The warnings about the whistling man. It's just some dumb ghost story, she'd say, laughing it off. But all of that changed one hot August night. Her parents had gone out, leaving her alone. The house was quiet, the crickets loud. She was scrolling through her phone when she heard it. Whistle, whistle, whistle. The sound was faint, floating in from the woods. She froze. The stories, was it real? No, it had to be the wind. Or some animal, right? But the whistle grew louder, clearer. Long, slow notes, rising and falling like someone was walking closer. Her heart raced. It was probably a prank, some local trying to scare her. She stood, determined to prove how silly this all was. Let's see this whistling man, she muttered, walking to the window. Her fingers gripped the curtain. She hesitated, her gut screaming not to look. But curiosity won. It always did. She pulled the curtain back and instantly wished she hadn't. There, under the streetlight, stood a man. He was tall, unnaturally tall, with a long coat that looked like it had been dragged through dirt. His hat shadowed his face, but his lips were pursed, whistling that eerie tune. She couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Then the man stopped whistling. Slowly, he lifted his head, and her stomach dropped. His face was pale as ash, and his eye sockets were black, empty holes. He stared right at her, his mouth twisting into a grin too wide for his face, revealing rows of jagged teeth. He raised a hand. Long, bony fingers curled, beckoning her. Evelyn's breath hitched. Her fight-or-flight instincts kicked in. She yanked the curtain shut and bolted for her bedroom, slamming the door behind her. But the whistling started again. This time, it wasn't distant. It was closer. It circled the house, moving from one window to the next. The slow, deliberate tune sent shivers down her spine. She sat in the corner, hugging her knees, whispering, "This isn't real. This isn't real." But the footsteps on the porch said otherwise. The whistle stopped. Silence. She held her breath, listening. Then, bang! The front door rattled. Evelyn screamed, pressing herself against the wall. Hours passed before she dared to move. When the first rays of sunlight hit her room, she crept downstairs. Her heart sank. The front door was wide open. On the porch, carved into the wood, was a message. "Next time, I'll come in." Evelyn never doubted the stories again. And every night after, when the whistle started up, she locked her doors, closed her curtains, and prayed she'd never hear those footsteps again. Now, let me ask you this. If you heard that whistle in the dead of night, would you look outside? Let me know in the comments, if you'd even be brave enough to peek. If you're ready for more spine-chilling tales like this one, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the next story might be even scarier.